Hello, everybody. This is Scott Hudspeth with Agent Mastermind. So excited to be here with you guys today. Thanks for joining us. Got a ton of people flying in, so hope you all get in. I have a friend on the call with me today out of a little town of Denton, Texas, I believe she said. She is the wife and mother of two, a 16 and a 13-year-old. She's been in the business 14 years and is closing right around $12 million a year in production, mostly from expireds. So if you are looking to master the expired realm of things, Melanie is going to share that with us today. Here's some other cool stuff that Melanie does. She just opened a home decor shop, which is really cool, Melanie. And then she also has dabbled in rental properties, and she still has a couple left, which are commercial properties. So she's well-versed in just about everything real estate and home decor. So I'm excited to have her on. Melanie, welcome to the call, my friend, and I'm excited to see what you have for us today.
Thanks, Scott. I am so excited and thankful and grateful to be here. And I just hope that while I'm going to be talking to many, that this message just falls on the few that are interested, the few that see the benefit of always learning and getting more. So let me know if you are ready to get started.
On that one, go ahead and keep color scheme. Oops, okay. It'll probably open up again. So if it does, just say keep the color scheme. I don't know why it does that, but it's done that to me before. So
okay.
We're ready to go.
All righty. Well, everyone, thank you for attending. We are going to talk about, in fact, you guys are on a call that is going to be the introduction to our expired listings program called Mustard Seed Methods. And so how many of you, I don't know if you guys can raise your hand on here, but expireds from sale to sold, how many of you guys currently work expireds? A few people have tried them in the past.
Yeah, so there just kind of house cleaning. So on the right hand side, there's a questions box. If you guys like when we ask a question or whatever, if you want to participate over there, you can punch in your answers there. Just put yes or no. And then if she says anything or any links or anything she talks about, I'll post down in the chat button so everyone can see it. So there's a lot of yeses coming up right now, Melanie. So
good. I'm glad everybody's or a lot of people have dabbled in it, because that's helpful to kind of know where we're coming from. So like Scott mentioned, we've been in the business about 14 years. I've been a CRS. I don't know how many of you guys know what CRS is, Certified Residential Specialist, since 2006. It's a great organization. I will be, small plug, I will be speaking at the CRS celebration this year in February in Phoenix, so I hope to see some of you guys there. I did spend some time at Keller Williams, and when I was there, I was a panelist at that family reunion multiple times and was a co-writer for the KW Listing Mastery. Been in lots of masterminds, and I guess my current claim to fame is converting about 4 out of every 10 expired calls, and that averages me in yeah, that's pretty exciting, and it doesn't just come overnight. So we're going to kind of give you guys some shortcuts and things that hopefully you'll find helpful with getting to that place a lot sooner than I did.
Very cool.
That averages us about 12 million in volume every year, which is plenty when you add it to the other businesses like we talked about. We just started a home decor store, which I never dreamed I was doing. People ask, oh my Lord, was that your dream? No, it was not. But you know, you just apply, you know, things that you learn in business to each business, and they can grow. So that kind of brings me to full circle, a mustard seed. So what is a mustard seed? I mean, a lot of people may or may not know what they are. It is the tiniest seed there is, and oftentimes, you know, it can grow into a large, flourishing tree with a little, just very little maintenance. So when it comes to what we're discussing, Scott, the mustard seed is your expired campaign, okay?
I'm glad you're explaining what mustard seed was, because I was going to ask you how you came up with the name. So I'm glad you're covering that.
Well, it's actually, I think it's originally biblical, but basically talks about faith, which is the same thing as hope. And so if you just have the smallest amount of hope, you know, you have a desire to add this to your lead generation plans, then it can take off and it can grow exponentially. And I can, sit here as proof that it is what they all say, the low-hanging fruit, expired. So the mustard seed is our expired plan. It is our business. And if you do not currently have an expired plan in place, this is something I urge you to just try. And again, not all lead generation is for all people. You're going to want to go with what you're comfortable with and what you enjoy. And for me, I like converting these people, and I personally like challenges, Scott. So that kind of helps.
Challenges are good. Challenges are good.
Yeah.
Fear of rejection's got to be so you're getting so the part I love of the best is 40% is huge. If you think about a batting average for a baseball player, they don't a 400 batting average is off that's Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? I don't think it exists.
Right.
There was one guy and I don't remember his name, but I don't think it exists. So that's huge what you're getting out of your expired listing. So congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, again, like I said, it wasn't overnight. It started as a mustard seed. When I first got in the business, I tried it all. Door knocking, open houses, expireds for sale by owners, and you have to kind of try it all. But I fell into expireds because it started working for me. And I'm just here to share kind of how that played out, and hopefully it will work for some other people too. Okay,
so I've always had the people they know, like, and trust, but you put the feel in there. Is there something special about that you're going to share later? They feel like they know, like, and trust.
I can share it now.
Okay, all right.
I can share it now. Basically, okay, so I didn't mention I do have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I never dreamed it would help me with anything, but maybe I think originally I wanted to be a psychologist to the stars, celebrity psychologist. So that didn't happen. So now I get to use it in my real estate business. And it is about feelings. People base everything on emotions, good, the bad, the ugly. And so when people choose who they want to work with, they go by who they feel like they know, like, and trust the most. So how do we give the prospect the feeling that they know, like, and trust us? Who, if you are in a conversation with somebody, feels the best?
Woof, tough question. Well, I would hope that they do, but obviously depends on what you're saying and who you're talking about, right?
It does, and how much you say. So that is
okay.
The secret I am sharing with you guys. If you want someone to feel better than you, which is your goal for them to hire you, they have to speak the most, okay? Now, don't hear me wrong. It's important, the control that you keep in the conversation, but you want to be able to know that they walked away from that conversation feeling like they had a great conversation. If you feel like you had a great conversation, you probably didn't. You probably failed. You probably spoke too much. So silence is the sunshine, Scott. If you are planting the seed, which is making your prospecting calls, and we'll get to that, but if you are planting the seed by picking up the phone and making the call and asking very poignantly placed questions and then being silent, that silence is the sunshine. It is what will make them answer you in the way that you want them to. So a lot of times we get nervous and we talk a lot, and that's how you can lose very quickly in the conversation. So
ask the question and wait for the response.
Wait for the response, no matter how hard it is, Scott. And a lot of times it's very hard.
It's very hard, yeah, right. I'm with you.
It's very painful. You want to answer it for me. You just, all your insecurities bubble up to the surface, and you're like, well, let me just, maybe you aren't unhappy. Maybe you didn't want it to sell. You just get really nervous, and you want to say all the things that is just going to put you right into their hands, and you want it to be the opposite. So plant the seeds, and then they'll be watered with your questions, and then your silence is the sunshine that's going to yield you the results that you're looking for. Got it?
Got it.
So here's where it gets fun, Scott. It's so much fun. I can't tell you enough how much fun it is. If you let them, most prospects will talk themselves right into hiring you. And so what I mean by that is you're asking them these questions and letting them self-discover that they need you and that they want to work with you, and they want to work with you now. So how do we get to that point? Well, before every single phone call that I make when I call an expired, I quickly say to myself, they're home, they're happy, and they're hiring me. And I say it real fast, home, happy, hiring. They are home, they're happy, and they're hiring me. So basically, I just do the self-talk, you know, where I am attracting that positivity in the conversation before they even answer the phone. And then when they're on the phone, Scott, you need to get them saying yes as quickly as possible. They need to say at least 4 times to anything that you say in order for them to be in agreement. This needs to be something that happens.
The one thing that the one thing keeps coming up is like, are you going to share kind of an example, or like, cause like you got me you got me on the edge, going, okay, this is really cool. Like if they talk great, if I talk wrong, and then your self-talk is huge. I 100% believe in self-talk, so I'm hoping you're going to share some, you know, some scripts at the end or something like that.
I am.
Questions? Okay, good,
so,
good, awesome.
Okay, so we do know that we need to get them in agreement as soon as possible, as quickly as possible, and get them to answer yes to about 4 different things. Okay, so this needs to happen before you offer any of your own input, your own opinion on price, condition, what happened. You know, you're going to stay in complete curiosity until they're in agreement. And when they're in agreement, and you know that you have them, that's when you can start asking the probing questions. And I do have the exact script, and we'll get that I use when I call these people, and it'll talk on there, and it'll show you where the yeses need to be. Awesome. I never discuss commission over the phone, Scott, and I do have scripts for that, but a lot of them try to pull you in with, well, what do you charge? Well, what do you charge? Mm-hmm. Well, you don't get into that. There's ways to divert that. So let's get here. What do I say, Scott? Well,
what do you say, Melanie?
I know. You can either roll with it, write it out, or rock it. What I mean by that, roll with it, you basically are winging it. So a lot of times in the beginning, especially when I didn't know what to say, you just wing it. You just are rolling with whatever they have to say. You're kind of answering back. Totally poor way, and you're going to get frustrated. You're going to get hung up on. You're going to say, I don't think I like expireds. I don't think I like anything to do with this prospecting. So you don't really want to wing it for the long run. Write it out. It's the same thing. You just are sitting there letting them guide the conversation. They start asking you questions like, well, how many have you sold in my neighborhood, Scott? And maybe you haven't. And that's not the place you want to be. You don't want to be the one on the receiving end of these questions. So what you want to do is rock it. And with these scripts, you can rock it. So here we are, expired call script, 100% proven to get appointments. This is a free script for you guys. I wanted to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to start with the mustard seed, which will be the expired call script, just getting on the call and making this easy for you. And at the end of here, I'll have the website where you can go download it for free. But it's step by step, every single word, Scott, that you need to say when you're on the phone with the prospect. Where to put the pauses in so that you have the silence and everything. So it leaves nothing to the imagination.
Okay.
All right, so we'll see if this plays. This is just talking about that home, they're happy, and they're hiring me. This is me on the way to an expired listing appointment. Just to remind us that you have to be excited, and you have to stay excited and up for the whole process. So if you don't care or don't mind, I was going to play this real quick.
Love it.
Part of it. We'll see if it works. Nope.
No, okay.
No worries.
Right.
So let's go to the next one. How do you find expired listings? Some people are like, well, that's great, you know. Well, in the old days, Scott, when I started, you combed the MLS and you looked for the ones that had come up on the hot sheet as expired. Do you remember the hot sheet?
Absolutely, and I know what you're talking about. So yeah, that's how I would think that you would find an expired listing, and if it expired from the MLS, right? That kind
Right,
of you.
right,
I mean,
right.
That's not how you do it.
Well, you can do it that way, which I used to do it myself at the beginning, and then I had a little assistant, and I had them do that task because it is very time intensive. We would pull the listing. We would make sure it wasn't, again, already relisted with another agent. We would go and look up in whitepages.com the phone number and try to track them down, and a lot of times there was no phone number, and so we just were stuck with mailing them something, which we all know is not as effective and it's not immediate. And I'm here for the quick immediate. I don't really have a lot of time to spend hunting these people down. So you can use leverage, which is there's a lot of companies out there right now, Scott. I'm sure y'all have heard of like Mojo and Redx, and this one's Vulcan 7. I just recommend Vulcan 7 because personally I've tried all of them, and this one saves me so much time and so much money. I don't have to make a lot of calls to the wrong numbers because accuracy is key, and
absolutely,
that doesn't lead me to appointments. And I just want it to be working smarter and not harder. So Vulcan 7 also
I've heard a lot about this. I've heard a lot about the Vulcan 7. Doesn't it? Yeah, and you might have just going to say it. Doesn't it has a dialer too, right? Kind of like phone burner type thing.
Yes, it has an auto dialer. Now, everybody is going to have their own opinion on all of that. I personally don't use the auto dialer. I avoid pain like the plague. And so for me, to avoid pain, I have to have my scripts pretty much internalized where I can, combat anything that comes at me, and I don't like getting hung up on. And when auto dialer in play, I mean, people get really nasty about that sometimes. They just don't want to know that you're not the person calling them directly. But to each his own. And that brings us to do not call, because a lot of people are worried about that. Well, it's a personal choice, and I'm of the personal opinion that if you needed an excuse not to call, this would be a perfect one. So just don't call. But I personally call them all, and I don't really feel that I'm selling them anything except for on myself. And so this Vulcan 7 is one of the only lead services set up to handle an ISA, and I don't know how many people have an ISA, but it's an inside sales agent. You simply will upload your expired script in there, and you can monitor their progress all in one spot, and it's the CRM for you as well. So right now they require you to have a sponsor to sign up. So they've kind of made it kind of exclusive, which is great. So not everybody can get this.
That's cool.
You have to have a sponsor. So.
Okay. Cool. So and you might be going to cover this, but how do you, because obviously there's a lot of 60% negativity to this. Like, you're going to get a lot of rejections, probably a lot of hang-up calls. Obviously, you've done something to overcome that. What would you give to somebody that says, you know what, I just can't get over the hang-ups, the rude, the people, I don't know what to say. I mean, I know you're going to give us scripts and stuff like that, but how do you get it? It's still a negative part of the business. How would you recommend it? I mean, just bust through it. Obviously, you've done it and done very well. You know what I mean?
Right. That's a great question, and it's one that there really isn't an answer for everybody, because this is not for everybody. This is for the few who are willing to rock it. Okay.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah, I get hung up on. I almost laugh. Does it hurt? Does it sting? Yes. Do my feelings get hurt? Yes. But it's not supposed to be personal. But everybody says, "Oh, it's not personal." Well, I'm sorry, it's personal. My name is on my business. It's personal. They're personally hiring me, and they're personally firing me. So I just try to move on and remember what's important in life. And you know what? I thank my stars that is not a person that I've had to get all the way to a contract with, because if they are so nasty now, imagine how bad they're going to be once you're working with them. You'll never make them happy. You are looking for the low-hanging fruit, the people who are ready, willing, and able to work with you. What do they say? Work with the willing. You want to work with the willing, the ones who are going to make your life easy, the money easy, everything being, you know, as hassle-free as possible. So a lot of time, and then having great objection handlers, of course, you want to have those, and it becomes more fun. It's more of a challenge. So a lot of times my biggest challenge is they ask, what do you do differently to market the home? And so I always just answer them, well, that's a great question. I want to address it. And I just act like I'm writing it down. And I just say, you know, the easiest way to share that with you is to show you a copy of my 89-point marketing plan for your review. If it looks good, would you be ready to hire me today? And so instead of letting them use that as an excuse to just, oh, I'm going to pin them to the wall and they're going to have to tell me something magical, I just say, you know, I'm just going to show you this. And if you like what it is, I'm asking again for that commitment. And I'm going to give everybody who wants one a copy of that 89-point marketing plan so you can personalize it and make it your own, because I just think it's huge. It's huge to take that into your appointments, whether they're expired or anybody else.
Perfect.
So I guess we're not going to get to see this, but that's okay. Well, I can try it again, but
I think that wherever the sound's coming out at is you would have to put the microphone by where the sound comes out, or maybe your sound on your computer's not up, so that's the only challenge with those. Yeah.
Yeah. This just talks about the repeat expireds. How do I get, you know, is it always going to be starting from scratch? And it doesn't have to be. You can build this into that mustard seed, flourishing, crazy, crazy, exponential business that starts to feed itself. So, of course, you start with the cold because you don't have an expired business yet, possibly. And then, of course, you work on those repeat past clients when they come up in the next 3 to 7 years. But in the meantime, we've started doing these Facebook video testimonials, and they have been phenomenal, Scott. Absolutely amazing. So you just get your clients and you talk about what you've done for them. And I've had multiple people comment below, I am bookmarking this. I'm going to sell my house at the end of the year and I want to talk to you, you know, or somebody else was like, I'm stuck in a contract, but I'm going to talk to you next. That kind of a thing.
Wow.
So Facebook's been big.
Facebook's huge.
So where can you get these scripts? You can get them all on mustardseedmethods.com. The ones I'm giving you guys for free is that one that you need to get started, that expired phone call script. And Scott, really, if that's all they ever got, that's plenty, because it gets their feet, their toes wet. You know, you can sit there and figure out if this is for you, you know, and if you can use it effectively. If it's something that, yeah, you're going to get better over time, but, you know, it's just a really awesome place to get started, just to start with that mustard seed script. And it's proven.
Beautiful.
That's the one I use to get 4 out of 10 appointments. So then when you have an appointment,
all right.
Yeah, that's the holy grail. And then after that, when you get the appointment, a lot of times these objections come up at that point, and that's when you have to be on your game as well. So if anyone's interested, I do have 5 expired appointment scripts that are awesome. And then if they invest in that, it's $97. If they invest in that, I also am offering a bonus, and I think it's 4 more scripts that are about pricing. Because honestly, guys, if you don't price it right, you're not going to be any different than the agent before who failed to sell the property. And I'd love to share one of the pricing expired to sell scripts, if you don't mind.
Sure. And one of the questions coming in is, I think you, correct me if I'm wrong, when you shared Vulcan 7, that's where your expired leads, like a bunch of people are asking, David's asking, where are you getting the expired listings? And I think, don't they just show up in Vulcan 7 once you sign up for it and you have that going? Don't they just show up for you?
Yes, that is the highest form of leverage, Scott. It's totally just fed to your Vulcan account every day. All you do is log in and click on new contacts, and they're all there for you based on the area that you choose with them. And I think I have a few areas, and I have a large area. So I spend about $220 a month on that, just so that you kind of know what the pricing is. I think with that link, or just if you use my link to go on there, it's going to give you the first month for $49, and then they're going to feed you 3 months prior worth of expired leads. And sometimes those are better.
Yeah, I mean, right. Because they probably gave up and then decided to list again, like give it a break, come back on the market, whatever. Who knows, right?
Right. And well, a lot of them use the excuse they're going to do some repairs. Well, I have a script for that. You know, the scripts are aimed to to get them to let you have the appointment ASAP, and then to secure the listing once you have the appointment, and then secure it at the right price. So, yeah, a lot of times I've had 50-50. I've had great success with calling them first, like that day, because a lot of times they don't even know they expired, or waiting and calling them a few weeks later when the rush has been over, and then sometimes they're in a better mood and they're at that point ready to breathe and talk again about their property.
So somebody wants to see your link for Vulcan 7. Can you go back to that really quick? So mustardseedmethods.com, highly recommend it. Awesome scripts. It's one lead for the whole year, gets you, if you're using the scripts. So what I think it's vulcan7.com/ there it is, Mustard Seed Methods. So that's easy. Vulcan 7, so VULCAN 7, the number 7.com, Mustard Seed. So I'm going to put this in the bottom link right down here, VULCAN7.com.
And also, Scott, if you go to mustardseedmethods.com, it's on there. And when you click on, that's where you're going to get the free script anyway. And there's also a link directly on that first page. You don't even have to download the free script to get this link. It's on mustardseedmethods.com. So, yeah.
All right, and I just, in the bottom right, guys, of your screen, on the bottom right, I posted the link to the Vulcan 7, and I posted the mustardseedmethods.com down there, too, as well. So if you just click, you can probably just a clickable link. I'd probably wait till we're done, but she's going to share one here, but those are both down there for you guys.
Okay. So, in the spirit, Scott, of football season, how about a football trip?
All right, sounds good. Hey, really quick before you give the script, and everybody's like, no, Scott, no. So, somebody said, okay, say I can't afford Vulcan 7, and I would say you can't not afford it. It's not about what it costs; it's what it's costing you not to have it. But if you said, if somebody was to ask you that question, Melanie, what would you say to them? I can't afford Vulcan 7. What would you say?
That's so easy. So if you can't afford it, you probably aren't doing a tremendous amount of business, which is totally fine. I mean, obviously we all started somewhere, and that means you have a little more time. And so with that, go into your MLS. Obviously you'll know how to click expired, and then when you click expired, narrow it down to the neighborhood you want even, or whatever you want. And you can even, most MLSs will allow you to set up a hot sheet, which is where you will get informed every day of new activity. And you can set it up to where it's just going to tell you, you can click on something, and every day it'll just be the expireds for the areas you want. I think they've come a long ways with MLSs now. And you'll go on there, and if you can get their the address and do a reverse search in whitepages.com, sometimes the phone number will be there. It's been harder and harder lately to get that to work, but if you look at enough of them, then you will find phone numbers, and you will find phone numbers that will work. It's just going to be a labor of love. Again, the best leverage is using that service. They're in business for a reason, and so that's what I would say.
I've heard I've heard a ton of great things about Vulcan, but again, yeah, like you said, I like that. If you do have more time and you're not doing a lot of business, dive through the MLS and look for the expireds, make the phone calls, but use the scripts, of course, because All right, Melanie, I've held them off long enough. What's a good football one that you have for us?
Okay. So a lot of times these expired are stale because they failed to sell and they have been on the market anywhere from 90 days to a year. There's just no telling. It depends, and all different kinds of reasons. So you got the appointment, you're sitting at the appointment, and they want to price it right back where it's been the last 6 months. And you're just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Almost as crazy as hiring the same agent to do the same thing again. Insanity. So you basically just let them know, just to ask them, say, hey, how about this? What if you had 2 tickets to the Super Bowl, okay, and you were so excited and you couldn't wait to go to the Super Bowl, but something came up, whatever it was, horrible, and you can't go. You cannot go to the Super Bowl. But you want to try to get some of your money back because those were expensive tickets, Scott. Are you going to get more money, Mr. and Ms. Seller, if you try to sell those tickets before the Super Bowl or at halftime at the Super Bowl or in third or fourth quarter of the Super Bowl? And they're going to say, well, of course, before the Super Bowl. And it was awesome, great. Well, unfortunately, the Super Bowl already started on the sale of your home. So we need to treat it as such and price it as such. We can't sell it for as much as we were going to sell it for before it ever went on the market. The cat's out of the bag. Everybody knows about it. We just want to be able to package it now to where they can't afford not to come look at it at that price. So some people understand that better. Yeah.
I love it. I love that. Yeah, that's a great, it's a great way to articulate what they're trying to do. And to have the conversation about somebody trying to sell this for the same price with the same person is like absurd, right?
Right.
Fun. Great analogy. You must be a football fan?
Well, a little bit. When I have to be. I mean, I've got boys at my house.
There you go.
But I just wanted to end with...
Go ahead. Sorry.
If you do have any referrals, I'm actually in a town a little bit north of Denton. Okay, do you see all that white part? I know most of these people are probably local, but I pretty much cover the white part, not the star, but the white part of the state of Texas. And but we try to stay in Denton, Collin, and Cook counties. But yeah, if you have anybody for north of, we call it north of the lake. If you're local, you'll know Lake Louisville. So anything north of Lake Louisville, east and west, we would love the referrals. So
awesome. Couple questions, Melody, before I let you go. With Vulcan 7, do you get just expires, or is there other stuff in there as well, like FSBOs or a dialer? I think you get a dialer, you get FSBOs. I don't know. I'm asking. So, and then you get the CRM, I think you said. So you pretty much sounds like a complete system.
It is, and it's so awesome, Scott. You can get your FSBOs from there. You can it's all, what do you call it, a la carte, when you can pick what you want. You don't have to sign up for everything. You only pay for that which you want. You get the CRM regardless, but you can do your expired, your FSBOs, your the ones where when they are like off-market properties, it's the ones where in the court system, I don't remember, right before they foreclose.
Oh, foreclosures
you can get those.
Oh, okay. Pre-foreclosure, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my favorite part, and this is maybe ridiculous, but this is after 14 years of doing everything the hard way, it actually has a place where I can upload. I upload all my clients, all my past clients, everybody, so that when I am making the calls, I can make sure I hit those people too. They're all in one spot. So I don't have to be like, oh, I'm just going to open this up for my, lead generation. This is going to also have my past clients in it, so I can remember to call however many of them every day too.
All right, so let me just clarify this, because I think this is a huge point. So you use Vulcan 7 for everything, like current listings, past clients. Like, so when you're calling, you have everybody in the list, and you probably in the CRM is marked past client, current client, expired, FSBO, whatever it is, it's marked accordingly. there's a drop-down box or something like that that would signify who they are when you make that call.
Right.
Okay.
Well, they're in
okay.
folders,
So it's
just like your
they're in folders. Sure. Okay. Okay, cool. So that is your go-to for everything in your business. That's how you manage everything pretty much. Or
right.
remove the pretty much. Yeah, cool. Okay. All right, guys. So I did post her link down here. I think I answered. Okay, so you're under mustardseedmethods.com. You have explain what's in there. Say buy the 97, and I did go to mustardseeds. Does it say what's in there? So free copy of expired. So you can go to mustard. Okay, cool. Okay.
Yep. When you go on there, you'll see a link. No. You'll see a link for, it says download the free script, and then you're just supposed to put your name and email. I'm not going to send you anything. I don't really have extra time, but it's to get you to the download link, and you will have the download. And then it'll offer you at that screen the opportunity to purchase the additional scripts, and the bonus scripts will come with it. So you can do that on the next screen. But every screen should have the link for Vulcan on it, should you decide you want to check them out. And once you click that, you're not committed. You can find out more on the link that you click on for Vulcan.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, awesome. Well, let's see if there's any other questions before I let Melanie go. I really sincerely appreciate you being here today and sharing. Let's see, where do you find the 85-point checklist? Oh, great question. There was an 85-point checklist you checked about. Is that okay?
Yes. If they click on Facebook, we have a Mustard Seed Methods page that is just getting launched this afternoon. If they click on there, I'm going to try to post that on there, or they can message me through that, and I will be happy to email it to them personally.
Okay. All right. So Janet is asking, what percentage turn into real leads? If you are paying $200 a month, what is the ROI, return on investment? And I don't know what the $200 a month is. Is that for everything, I would assume?
That's what I pay about for all of my stuff that I get from Vulcan. But I don't have an exact number for the ROI, because I'm just being very picky about which ones in there I call, because I get a lot of them. Like, there's a lot of them in there. Of course, you all know that the 1st and the 15th you get the most. It's overwhelming, like 100 people that you can call. And so I'm just particular about which ones, what does it look like, who had it before, how long was it on, what do I think I could do different. I kind of probably do analysis or paralysis by analysis, but that's why I'm so picky, is because I want to spend my time wisely and smartly, and I only call the ones I feel like have a great shot at. And so with those, I would say I'm batting 1,000, with those, because they are really asking for help.
Well, if it was me and I could spend $200 and close $1 million in production a month, I think I'd take that deal. I don't know what you make. I'm just guessing you make somewhere around $30,000 on $1 million in production. Maybe I'm way off.
Correct.
I don't know. Is that correct? Right?
That is correct.
So
for investment for the actual thing, I mean, I'm always thinking of my time. I'm a high D, so it's all about time for me. But
absolutely.
Yeah, for the $200, if you only sold, what would you have to sell? You'd have to sell one house all year.
One home. Yeah,
all
like
year.
Not even a year, half a year, like a third of the year, like one. Yeah, if you got a referral fee you would still pay for stuff. Right? 25% of $100,000, like the 25% of $100,000 sale that you referred out, you would pay for. I don't know, maybe I'm way off on numbers, but it doesn't take much to recover your money, so the ROI is huge. As long as you use it. If you don't use it, then it's $200 out the window.
No, exactly. And I know that, especially when you're first getting started, but for my personality type, it doesn't matter when it is in my career. I'm very conscientious about the money I spend on things, and I wouldn't put something out there very lightly. I struggled for a long time with what to offer everybody, because I wanted to make sure it was, solid and rich and something I would have benefited from benefited from. And so with the $200 a month on Vulcan, I mean, that's about all I pay for. I do not do, I don't spend $200 on this and then $200 on postcards mailing a farm area and then $200 on, other lead generation. This is the one I've chosen. And if, other people have different, businesses, and maybe they have
Sure.
large teams. We've had a large team before, but, this is what I've decided to invest in.
Okay,
Joanne
said you got to invest in what works. Yeah, you got to try. So Joanne said she bought the scripts using iPad and now the link is gone. She'll get an email though, right, with the scripts?
She should have had a link when she did that. It should be a PDF.
Oh, it should be a PDF on her iPad. Okay, but she would get an email though, probably too, and a confirmation with that too, or if not, can they just give you a call or shoot you an email or something like that?
Yes.
So I would. Is there a contact on your website? I would assume.
Here.
There you go. Perfect. There you go. So if for some reason you can't look that up, I know it might have. I know on iPhones, iPads, there's a little box when you're actually doing something. It slides to a different box. So if you click that little box window at the bottom right of your iPad, and it might show up in the previous boxes that you were at, try that. And if not, you can give Melanie a call. Awesome. Good stuff, Melanie. Congratulations. I love the football script. I'm going to actually swipe that one if you don't mind for a couple other things. I like that a lot.
Awesome.
So it's just it's just words, like we right now we say something, so it's just changing what you say that somebody else says, like you said, is like, why recreate the wheel and try to come up with your own when you already have something that's working? So small price to pay for a huge success. Congratulations. Thank
you. Yes, and not saying everything.
Not saying everything, letting the people talk and ask certain questions, let them talk. Yeah, great point. And that's just, yeah. Thank you so much, Melanie, for being here. Congratulations on all your success. I wish you nothing but the best on your new home decor store. And
thank you.
Continued success on your commercial properties. So thanks for being here. And guys, we'll get the recording up for you guys along with the presentation. I have a copy of that. We'll get that up with the recording. Get with the loan professional that sent you to this, and we will see you same time, same place, right here on Agent Mastermind next week. Everybody have a great day. Be safe, and we'll see you on the web. Bye-bye.